but instead it's all about marimbas. We're gonna try and sound test the two instruments together.
I guess we're gonna do it. I'm
a
little awkward.
It's okay.
There'll always be a place for Rosewood. You could put this in a swimming pool and play it tomorrow and it would sound the same.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of This Studio. My name is Adam. Today is a very special video that's been requested by you guys. It's a comparison video between Rosewood 5-octave marimbas and synthetic 5-octave marimbas.
Came through dripping Aquafina, I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me. Blow make bitches, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be.
Thank you so much to my studio VIPs, Zero Gravity Percussion, Robert Utomo, Will Flinner, Bradley Chorale, Ryan Carlisle, Greg Harris, Arthur Lipner, Scott Rader, Doms Dominic Chung, and Dean P. Newberger. Thank you so much for your continued support. And today's featured studio artist is David Pickle. Thank you so much for your continued support. And if you'd like to become a studio VIP or a studio artist, you can go to patreon.com/amtan, or you can click over here. Welcome back to the show once again. I hope you've been well. And yes, today's episode is not a Let's Watch, but instead it's all about marimbas. So as you know on this show, we feature marimbas a lot, and I have had a lot of marimbas come and go through this studio, but the two that I've featured most prominently have always been my very own Marimba 1 Izzy, which is a $20,000 Rosewood instrument, and the $6,500 Mode Marimba synthetic 5-octave instrument. I've posted full reviews of both instruments on this show before. In fact, the pilot episode of the studio was actually this marimba, my very first marimba that I bought in 2016. So that was episode number 1. And the Mode Marimba actually featured on 2 episodes. I actually featured it twice. You can check out all of these episodes in the description below. It just so happens that a couple of weeks ago, the CEO of this company, Mode Marimba, John Gloker, was in town for Marimba Fest. John Gloker from Mode Marimba, welcome to the studio. But you will notice that this segment with John is actually really out of focus. Like, look at this. It's just awful. Really sorry about that. I think the video is going to look a little bit messy, which is why I'll just keep explaining what's happening in the video in case it's not clear. But yes, this is the segment that we shot together with John. John has actually been around the last week and he's tuned the marimba. So we're gonna try and sound test the two instruments together.
Thank you for having me here to do what we're doing. I guess we're gonna do it. I'm a little awkward.
It's okay, we're very excited. And these are the questions that I asked him before we started.
Well, when we started this project, I, like many parents, went out and just was sticker shocked. I thought there had to be a better way. So I thought if we could emulate or come very close to the sound of this Rosewood that was so desirable in a more economical package, people would buy it. Well, we had a theory that if we could replicate the speed at which sound moved through Rosewood, and in a textbook sense that was 5,000 meters a second, and a aluminum bar, I think it's 8,000 or 9,000 meters a second, that was the baseline for my material selection. So when we found that through some basic physics tests, we selected this material, set out to make a full-size marimba with it. There'll always be a place for Rosewood, and it's a part of the history. It's the founding of the instrument. It's the craft that's developing in this time and space. For a huge majority of people, it's not practical. The weather restrictions, the humidity restrictions, the maintenance on them if they're not in a controlled environment, and that's where a synthetic product has a sustainable approach. You could put this in a swimming pool and play it tomorrow and it would sound the same.
And now we're gonna get to the sound test. So if you're enjoying this video, please give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And please leave down in the comments below what you think of the sounds that you're about to hear. So the first part of the sound test is me just playing some simple stuff like scales on each instrument. Check it out. And then we got to the real world sound test where I played some real world examples with different mallet series. So I started off first with a pop song because I really believe pop music on marimba is really interesting. As you've noticed on many of my previous episodes, I like to cover stuff for fun. So I played Blackbird on both instruments. Check it out. But what about more canon marimba solo music? More normal moto perpetuo type stuff? Definitely, I think my marimba handles those types of solos a little bit better. And the final type of music that I wanted to try was, of course, chorales. Now, chorales are, of course, a big talking point when it comes to synthetic instruments because the sustain, again, might work in its favor, right? So I think for chorales, if it was a slower chorale, it would definitely work better on the Mode because the Mode has that sort of church organ, really long ringing sound that can just ring forever. And then it's really easy to play chorales on the Mode because the bars are so bouncy. But I think if you have a chorale that has a lot of moving voices and you want to have that sort of clarity, then I definitely think having the predictability of a Rosewood marimba is definitely more beneficial. I find it much easier to control my phrasing and my legatos with this instrument as opposed to the Mode. So now it's your turn. Let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of synthetic versus Rosewood marimbas? Do you think synthetic marimbas are going to take over the world? Do you think there's still a place for Rosewood in the future? Which one would you buy personally? Which one do you own? Which one do you prefer to play? Let me know down below because I love hearing from you guys. You definitely know a lot about this topic and it's just really good to share. So let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that red subscribe button below to keep up with my uploads. Thank you so much for 15,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it so much. And I really like that you guys enjoyed the Let's Watch episode last week. But we have so many amazing submissions for that segment. So if you want to get in the fun, it's at adamsampercussion.com/submit. All right, thank you so much, John. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. And thank you so much to you guys for watching today's episode. I'll see you guys next week for another episode of The Studio. Good night.